Welcome to today's episode of Table Talk with
the Mercer County ESC.
Okay.
Sorry, I forgot to do the countdown again.
Sorry. We're on the other side and I have so much leg room over here.
Yeah, we were a little flustered trying to get the microphones figured out.
You
here.
sound really sad.
I do?
Yeah.
Oh, no. She's next to the buttons.
Sorry, you do. You sound really sad. You sound like that this is painful
because
for
I'm sad because I am way over here.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you're sad because this is the last installment of our morphology series.
It is the last episode. So, gosh, we're just going to bring it all together today, though.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were sad, but I guess not.
No, because I'm actually excited about this episode because not only are we bringing it all together, they are actually going to leave with some really good activities.
Yep. This is the practical part. So if you have listened to everything leading up to this.
I mean, Emily is so organized. I walked in here and there were piles of cards. There was
this doesn't happen often, does it?
With markers. Like she has it ready to go.
How often do I prepare for things?
So organized.
Never.
So organized.
Thank you.
No, you always prepare.
I know, just up here, not with things.
I was just going to say, but if you would walk into her office.
I was just going to say, this is clearly how much morphology means to me because it's the one part of my life that I keep organized and put together. This is clearly emphasizing the importance of it.
Oh, okay. So we are back. Today is Monday.
That's why you're sad.
Oh, I mean, yes. And I was just telling Emily, like, I am all over the place with what I have going on at home tonight. We have volleyball, basketball. Now I have to go run somewhere else. And my daughter just texted that she now has to work. So we have kids all over the place. One day at a time. But I didn't tell you this. My husband does not even know this.
Oh my gosh, let's do it.
I know. I can't believe I'm going to tell you guys on air. So I don't know if you have ever heard of these things, but they're called skylights. Have you heard of them?
Oh, wait, time out. Like the big.
Not like a skylight.
No, like the big calendar things.
Oh, yeah.
Are you getting one?
Okay, so listen, we have this. Okay, so if you don't know, I have 3 kids and I have a freshman, a 6th grader, and a 3rd grader. So they are all in like their own little sports things. And then my oldest, she has her Google Calendar with her work calendar and all that kind of stuff. But I have this paper calendar. Everything goes on the paper calendar. So that way I kind of at least have an idea of where everybody's at and if I have to carpool or whatever. But we have it on our Google calendars. So I also transfer from the Google Calendar to the paper calendar. So that way we're all on the same page, right? Yeah. But sometimes you know how that is. Like you write down the wrong time or the wrong location or something gets changed. And then I have to make sure that it also gets changed.
Right, because it's adding calendar. An extra step to, yes.
So one of my friends has the skylight calendar. And I was like, this thing is so cool. So I'll be able to see like a calendar for each kid, for my husband, for myself. Wow. So I tell Adam this. Okay, my birthday was beginning of March. So I get this card and it's a happy birthday card. And I was really like, dang, I was really hoping I'd get one of those skylights. I open up the card and there's this little piece of paper that's like this big and it's a skylight. He has it cut out. Like, we're going to order this for you. But he didn't want to order the wrong one.
Ah, smart man. I was smart. That was smart.
But it is now April and we still have not ordered it.
Oh.
So this weekend.
That's why you're sad.
I ordered it.
Yes.
I just took it upon myself. I am not going to wait around anymore. I just ordered it myself.
I'm so happy for you.
Thanks. So I'll let you know. It hasn't shipped yet, but when it comes in, I will keep you posted.
That's awesome.
If it helps me at least stay a little bit sane.
Well, I was just thinking they should invent an app, like a rideshare app for kids, like Uber, where
we just talked about this weekend with my friends.
Really? Well, here's what I want. The kid has to request the ride from you in order to get it. So if they don't, like if you're not home when it's time to take Ava to work, if she didn't request a ride, that's her problem.
Well, she requested grandma to take her to work tonight.
Okay, see, grandma can have the app too.
Here's what, now we live in town.
You do.
She has a bicycle.
And it's
she can
gorgeous out.
Ride her bicycle to work.
She could.
But I do think she has a flat tire. So
that could be a problem. And I mean, today is like, you could get a little sweaty riding to work.
A little sweaty.
I mean, I don't want to get sweaty while I'm tossing pizzas. Like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Well, whatever. I'm just glad that she's working.
Yeah, see?
She needs to get some hours
Good
in.
job.
But with a Skylight, you can also put chores on there. So there's no excuse if they didn't know
I
that
love
laundry
this.
had to get done or that
Love
the dishes
this.
had to get washed. I also had to order a dishwasher. So it's just tanked this weekend. I know. It was a weekend.
Okay, real quick before we move forward, I do have to tell
Okay.
you one thing.
What?
Just to go along with my disorganization. My house is pretty clean. But lately it started off very minor. Our dryer squeaks just a little bit.
Oh, yes. You were
Just a
talking
little
about
bit,
this.
okay? The squeak has now turned into a full-blown wail. Like so that's all we hear anytime we're running the dryer. It was so loud, so my neighbor was outside fixing his car.
Stop it.
I was so embarrassed. It was so loud. You could hear it in their yard. My freaking dryer squealing. So like literally when I say, like, I am not being hyperbolic when I say the entire neighborhood can hear when we run our dryer.
Wow.
My husband is convinced.
So what's going on? Like, are you going to get it fixed?
Well, my
Is it gonna let it
husband
keep
watched a
squealing?
YouTube video.
Oh, no.
Mhm,
No.
mhm.
That's why I had to order a new dishwasher.
And that's why my dryer still squeaks, because he watched a YouTube video like 2 weeks ago. Now the information has to percolate up there. Then he's going to buy it.
Uh-huh.
And then he's going to try to do it. And then basically what I'm saying is here in about 3 weeks, I'm probably going to get a new dryer, which I'm pretty pumped.
Well, you better start, scrolling and finding one. The dishwasher, we've been in the same boat. This has been like 4 months. It just leaked just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Well, Adam has been working because it's pool season now. So he's been opening all the pool. Like he's not home in the evenings or the weekend. So this weekend.
So what you're saying is the dishwasher is not his problem.
No, but we called a guy to come and I got there after work one day and he was like, ma'am, this really has me stumped. And I'm like, well, that's not good. Like you're the appliance guy. And he's like, well, I thought maybe it was the seal. And I was like, yeah, my husband YouTube. So he replaced 2 different seals. So I think maybe he might have caused this leak to get worse. I had to go through 2 beach towels in order to run our dishwasher.
And what you're saying is he messed it up so much that then the actual technician couldn't figure out what the problem was.
Correct.
Love that.
Yes.
Love that.
Yes.
Okay, well.
Wow, we talked a lot about, we just wanted to give people a background.
Yeah,
of
that's
like
really, it's way more
going on in
interesting.
our life. Yeah.
And this is going to be a short one, so this should be
so
pretty
that'll
easy.
be good.
Okay.
That'll be good. Okay, so let's get started, Emily.
Let's do it.
Emily.
What?
Emily has this, let me just explain. Emily has a laptop that she had some issues with, and now she has another keyboard. And she was just typing and realized that her one button that wasn't working is now working.
It's now working.
And I said, well, that's great. It probably dried out. And
but
the letter L is no longer there.
See it.
And I said, well, you can just put the letter L back on there now. It probably works. And she said, I don't have it.
How am I supposed to?
Do you remember the story about the pen cap?
That you threw away. So you probably snuck into my office, took my L, and threw it away.
I think she threw it away because she didn't think it would ever work again. And now it's working. And too bad you didn't keep it because now it will be working.
Says the woman who threw away my pen cap, which led me to have to throw away a pen because I found the pen after you threw away the pen cap.
Okay.
Once again, pot, kettle. Like you critique me for things you do every day, Lindsay. Okay.
All right. We're getting into
We're not actually mad.
No, we're not.
I don't think we are we? Okay,
No.
good.
No.
Okay.
I don't have the energy to be mad.
No, I know. You're so sad.
Let's get into this activity. I'm pretty excited about this one.
No, this is a fun one. So,
and they're going to lead with activities for morphemes.
Yes.
All right.
And you can do these however you would like to do them. It is best, obviously, to have explicit instruction, like that's systematic and cumulative. Like the best case scenario is to embed morphological stuff all throughout what you're doing. But we know that that's not always realistic for specifically content area teachers. So this might be one that resonates a lot for content area teachers, but obviously ELA, this would work in there as well. So basically what you would do is you would...
Wow.
I'm so sorry. So basically what you would do is you would give them a riddle. or not a riddle, a word, and then they
Okay.
would be required to create an equation with that word based on the morphemes. So you can see the examples. I can't sit in this spot.
Well, I feel like I'm just so far away.
You can see the example on the screen. So this is why I was thinking, like, if you're thinking in math classes, like the word hypotenuse, that's not a very easy word that contains a fair amount of morphemes as well. So a lot of those more complex academic terms that you find in content areas, they could be really helpful breaking this down. So the way this would look, you're my student, Lindsay, okay? The word
Okay.
that we're going to talk about is photosynthesis. So you did it too, see? Loser.
Well, because I can't see.
Oh, sorry. Here, I can turn it. So your word is photosynthesis. I would probably write this up on the board, display it on the smart board, something. Okay.
So you are displaying just the word.
Just the word.
Got it.
So
Okay.
then what I would do for the students, you can see that equation prompt. What I would do is I would say, what morphemes make up this word?
Okay. So then would I say this, write this down?
I would probably have them write this down if you
Okay,
can. Like, this is why
so-
it'd be kind of cool to have, you could have a bell ringer too. You could have photosynthesis and then just say what morphemes make up this word under it. Like if you
Okay.
wanted a bell ringer. I would make sure you've talked about morphemes before this. Like, don't suddenly
Right.
just introduce the word morpheme.
Well, this seems like a more complex.
You would do this after you've talked about morphemes
Right,
for a little
right.
bit. Or
Okay.
if you know your ELA teacher is teaching morphemes,
Right.
you know what I mean? You don't have to teach the morpheme. Like, you don't have to teach morphemes as a content area teacher. You can just have them practice it.
Yeah.
So Lindsay, what morphemes make up the word photosynthesis?
Okay. So it would be photo, sin,
Mm-hmm.
and then the cis.
Yep. And I
It
never
sounds
know if you
funny.
say morphemes like the way they're pronounced in the word.
I know. I wonder.
That's something I should probably Google.
Okay, we'll do that.
Google
after
that
this.
so you know
Yeah,
what to
somebody
say out
Google
loud.
that.
Nevertheless, okay, so then you can see, so that could be enough, right? Like that
Right.
could be enough. But then you can see that if you have higher level students or you just really want to stretch the students, you can then say, how would you describe what plants do to make food? But you need to use the morphemes when you are doing that, like making that description.
Okay. So is that
Go
what you
for
want
it.
me to do?
Yes. So explain photosynthesis in regards to plants making food using the morphemes.
Okay. Now, just so you know, we did look this up
We
ahead
did.
of time.
It's been a minute
But
since.
don't you think that students could look this up to
Yeah.
help them? Like, so like if
Or
if
they
they
may
didn't
go,
know it like on the spot, they
Mhm.
could then like look it up.
or they may go back to their notes. Like if you're
Mhm.
having trouble remembering what photosynthesis is, go back to your notes or your
yeah.
book, right?
Because okay, so plants use light, which is the photo part of it,
Yep.
to put together, so the synthesis part of it, carbon dioxide and water to make the glucose, which is a type of sugar, and oxygen.
There you go. You can't tell me.
That's really, I mean, that's so insightful.
Well, I was going to say, you can't tell me that this wouldn't help them better understand photosynthesis as well.
Well, I was going to say, this is better than just seeing a picture of something and, okay, tell me what or having photosynthesis and then the definition on the back.
Right.
This makes meaning to the actual word
And
or
then
brings meaning to the word.
We know because of our reading brain, once we connect those
Yeah.
sounds to meaning, we're going to help them store this in their long-term
Mhm.
memory. So not that we need
Because
to,
we know that it's taking sunlight and they've talked about all that. So
Yes.
it has to, I mean, it has to make sense to them.
exactly. And then you might get an awareness of, is it a content problem? Right.
Right.
Because if they don't remember what photosynthesis is, it's going to be awfully hard to explain it, even if you know the morphemes. But then you can also know sort of why it is named what it is, because actually a lot of our health terms and our science terms and our math terms are named very logically. We just don't know the meaning of the
Mhm.
morphemes that are in those words. So that one has solved the problem. You could do it however you wanted, bell ringer or just as an activity. You could have them work as partners. You could do it as a class just to get them talking about the morphemes.
Awesome. I like it. I like that idea.
I know I like this one too. Okay. We have activity number 2.
Compare and contrast.
Compare and contrast. So this
I
one,
like this activity.
I like this one too because I just want to remind everybody that our goal is to foster word consciousness, right? Like, so some of these activities are super sinful.
Wow.
They're wild. Don't do that. They are super simple, but the point is just to get them aware. Because I'll tell you something right now, when we do this. So the gist of this activity is you're laughing at me because I went, wow, aren't you?
Yes, and it's bringing back memories from last week.
Yeah, oh my goodness, we'll have to tell you someday. That'll be an after hours table talk podcast.
All the editing.
All the editing.
Okay.
So this one is compare and contrast, and you're looking more at sounds in this one. And what you're going to do. So we talked in, oh my goodness, probably it was the suffixes because you have derivational suffixes and inflectional. And sometimes with derivational suffixes, which can change the part of speech. Wait, did I say that backwards? No, derivational can change the part of speech. That means the vowel sound in the root may change. That's the part that I was saying that I didn't even realize that until like this year. Even as like somebody who is a pretty fluent reader. So what you will do, this one is pretty simple and it is helpful if they're able to say the words. So whether you do it out loud as a class or if they're doing it quietly with a partner, and please use AI to help you find words like this because you could Google it, but it's going to be much faster if you just ask ChatGPT, hey, give me a list of, so what we're going to talk about are transparent and opaque changes. So transparent are easy. Or I guess I shouldn't say changes because transparent, nothing changes. Like it's very obvious what root the word comes from. It's really easy to see. Opaque, just like in real life, if something's opaque, you can't see through it. So it may be a little harder to discern what root the word comes from because that pronunciation may change. So when you're looking at the word, it'll be very obvious.
Okay.
When you're speaking the word, students may not realize that these words are within the same family because those sound changes. So Lindsay, the first example here, we have when we take the word help and change it to helpful. Is that a transparent or an opaque change?
Okay, that would be transparent.
Transparent, because we had help, helpful. All we did was add a suffix.
Yep, help sounds exactly the same.
Help sounds exactly the same.
Okay.
Now let's try define versus definition.
So that would be opaque.
Opaque, right? Because if you're listening, again, when you see it typed out, it is kind of like easy to tell, right? That they're from the same. But if you were listening or trying to pronounce it yourself, you can see how this would be beneficial to ELL students because if this isn't your native language, that's going to be difficult. So the first one's transparent. The second one is opaque. Now, what about electric to electricity?
I don't know.
Okay.
I would say I don't know.
And by the way, if you don't want to use transparent and opaque, you could do obvious and not obvious, or you know what I mean?
It's like between them.
It is between them. So you can see here we have the word electric. You hear electric, you hear that k sound at the end.
But when you add that I next to that C, then it makes that soft sound.
Yeah. So if you're an ELA teacher, you could then connect this to some spelling rules that maybe you've been working on from the Logic of English. If you're just a content area teacher, all you have to do is just help them notice this, right? Like that when we are changing the morphemes, like electrician, then you could go through, like if you're doing a unit on electricity, you could just have them list all the words that they know that have electric.
So would you only do this orally, or would you also have like these words on the board?
I would have them seeing the words as well.
Okay. Because I think like when you see electric and electricity, that kind of helps explain then, you know, how it, like you would think, in my opinion, that it's transparent.
Yes. Because the meaning stays the same. It's actually definition and define, like to me, because you still see the word electric in electricity, right?
Yeah.
Electric-itty. You know what I mean? So like maybe even non-examples, like when you're saying it out loud, like how weird is this word when I say it like this, right? And then you can talk about that. Because again, we're not expecting content area teachers to be experts in morphology. Just directing their attention. If you notice cool things, look it up and see why it is the way it is and share it with them. But this one's very simple. You could do it very quickly and also organically. If you're teaching and you see it happen in real time, draw their attention to it.
Yeah, we did no prep for this slide.
We're coming in blind.
Just Okay. Besides, she did get out her little cards. She has cards.
Which I did link there. I don't know if you'll be able to click it, but you could also just Google them. I
wonder That's a good.
We could probably add them in the notes. Like, I think
Yeah.
they have notes. So
Yeah,
for
we
now,
could
they're
do
just
that.
there as a
Okay.
placeholder. So I remember where I put them and when I did them. But the internet is flush with,
Sorry.
is it that bad?
Just tired.
Like, okay,
I just had such a busy weekend.
I'm really sorry.
No, it was a great weekend. Like, we had Easter, we had AAU, and I didn't go home until like 9. I was just gone all day.
And
I'm just,
I get it.
you know how that is. Like, you just feel like you're not caught up ever.
Yeah.
That's how I
I
feel.
feel like that's every day.
I know.
Like, you won't be caught up tomorrow either. I'll just go ahead and
No,
spoil
and then
it.
it's like Easter, you know.
Yeah,
so
you might as
then
well
it's
give
like,
up. Throw the
nope,
whole week away. Okay, we're throwing the
give
week
up for,
away.
like, a
Okay.
whole month.
That's fine. You can yawn here. I didn't mean to like be passive aggressive about that. But if you didn't see it, she had a big yawn,
They
and
couldn't see it because it was behind my microphone.
no one has ever yawned while I've taught before. Like, in all my years of teaching, everybody
Wow.
was engaged all the time.
I
Every minute, every single kid, didn't matter
Wow.
whether they had breakfast or not, engaged.
Breakfast or not.
Oh gosh. Okay.
All right.
So this one is called Prefix Go Fish, but you really could what I really want to highlight here is morpheme cards, because these can be big tools for students. So if you plan to systematically go through morphemes in your class, so if you're an ELA teacher, or maybe you're a content area teacher who is responsible for teaching some morphemes, you may have them create their own cards. So, like, for example,
okay.
if we're going through the morpheme omni, the students would write that in their books. You know what I mean? Write down some focus words, use it in context. But then also, I would just have some different colored note cards.
Mhm.
That's the other tip I would give you right now. All of mine are the same color.
She couldn't figure the printer
I couldn't
out.
figure the printer out, guys. I printed it on everything but what I wanted. I found this really cute pink paper.
You put it in the bypass tray. Do you know that?
I didn't know that.
There is a bypass tray, and you run it through the bypass tray.
Shut the front door.
I will give her lessons, so that way next time
I somehow managed to print it on cardstock that I didn't even know was in the copy machine. These aren't cardstock. I
was going to say, those don't look like
I
cardstock.
embarrassingly recycled the cardstock, because the first thing I did was print it two-sided. So then I had to print it 2 to 1 side so I could cut them out. Then I found the cute pink paper.
Renee, if you are listening to this, next time you see Emily at the copy machine, she needs a copy machine 101 lesson.
That is something I feel like we don't teach people. Like, you just think about, like, when you got your first teaching job, like, you just walked up to the copy machine and prayed for the best. And you're like, I hope I don't do it wrong, because then you also probably have a quota.
Yeah.
So if you messed up, you just got to give them the bad worksheet. Whatever. So that's something.
Well, Renee, there you go.
And if you're in HR, train your people on how to use the copy machine. But I would definitely have them do them in different colors. So if you're doing a prefix, maybe prefixes are always blue, roots are always white, suffixes are always green, or just some way to deduce, and they can just keep them in a Ziploc bag and just carry them with them. And they could use their own cards for this activity. If you are not planning to invest that much of your life in this, there are also plenty of pre-made morpheme cards online. You can just Google it, or you can have ChatGPT make them for you.
If they were making their own cards, would they just be writing the roots and the prefix, or would you have them like put the meaning of that?
Well, that's what I was just going to say.
Okay.
So if you are trying to play this game as it is with the rules that are on the screen, you would not want to use the ones that I have linked here, or create ones with examples on them, because what this one has, this has the root, the pronunciation, the definition, or I'm sorry, not the root, the morpheme, the pronunciation, the definition, and then a list of words that have that morpheme in it.
Okay.
Which those would all be fine for certain types of games, because one simple thing you can do is every kid can have their pile of morphemes, and they can just try to make new words. So they have that's why you would want things to be in different colors. You have the prefixes in one color, roots in another, and then suffixes in another, and they can just try. Like, maybe you give them 10 minutes, get with a partner, try to make as many words as you can and list them. And then maybe you all go in, maybe when you're done, they go to Edem Online or one of the other resources that we're going to share, and they can look and see, are your words that you made real words? What are their definition? Things like that.
That's fun.
I think it's fun too, because you're trying to make word detectives, right? Like, get them thinking about words in a different way. But the prefix Go Fish, what this would be is you would give every kid like 3 to 5 prefix cards.
Okay.
So they would get a prefix card, and let me move over here. So, I turned my mouse off. That was silly. So what they would do is they would have 3 to 5, and then you would put the rest in a pile on the table. So they'd be working in groups of maybe like 3 or 4 playing this game. I can't find it. There we go. You're just watching me struggle. That's what I do for you all the time. Like when you're trying to put the arm on the table.
I know.
So what they would do is they would have their 3 to 5 cards. And then if Lindsay and I were part of a group, I would have my 3 to 5 cards. That one's blank. That was cute. Okay. So I may look at Lindsay and I may say, Lindsay, do you have a morpheme that could make the word polyester? And if Lindsay had the prefix poly, she would hand it to me. I would have a match. I would pop it down on the table. So you also would want to make sure you could obviously this is called prefix go fish. But if you were focusing on suffixes or roots, you could do it that way. So if you wanted to focus on a specific word part, like if you want them to practice, like poly was a hard one because it's like polygon, polyester. There's not a lot. But like, let's say you were working on as in together partnerships, you can imagine there would be a lot of different words students could think of.
Yeah.
So the other thing is you'll want to make sure that there are multiples of all of the morphemes in your pile of cards so that students would be able to find matches. And then if they don't have a match, I don't know if I already said it, they draw a card out, first kid to run out, or when the time's up, person with the most matches, however the rules you want to make it for your classroom, then that you could have them also if you wanted to make sure, like if you wanted to do a check to make sure that they were using it correctly, they could just keep a running log of words that they ask for. Because you can start, if you are putting pieces together, obviously you could make up words that don't exist by putting morphemes together. And so that's important to draw their attention to it. Like that's not, I have 100 examples in my head, but I can't come up with it because my 3-year-old obviously is discovering language. So she uses morphemes sometimes in ways that she's right. Like, you know what I mean? What she's trying to say is correct, but that's not the word we use for that. So I would also make sure I direct their attention to that. So if you're working on it, like I said, if you're working on morphemes explicitly in class, have them make their own. If you're not, use ChatGPT, AI, Google it, find yourself a morpheme deck, make a bunch of copies, let your kids go to town.
Good deal. Morpheme riddles.
This one's for all the silly geese out there. If you're a silly goose, you'll like this one. Prior to AI, this one would be much harder to do. But now that you have ChatGPT, like ChatGPT spit out like 10 of these riddles for me.
Really?
Yeah. So this could be a fun, just like practice activity for students to practice some of the morphemes that they're using. So the morpheme we're going to work on in the next segment is struct.
Okay.
Or strew. And so that's going to be kind of the theme for this. Okay. So pretend all week, Lindsay, we've been working on struct and strew, the morpheme. Okay. So on Friday, maybe we have just a fun little game, right? Riddle Friday or something that students can look forward to. Because I was just telling Renee earlier, my son's teacher has all the chicken eggs that they're hatching.
Oh, yeah.
And she has an incubator. She has a live feed that we can watch on YouTube, like during the weekend.
Wow.
He is so excited to go to school. You know what I mean?
Doesn't he want one of these to bring home?
Yes. He's no.
So did you get yourself a little chicken coop?
Don't get me started. We already have a chicken coop because the people before us had ducks.
Oh.
Like we do. Like we would just need to put a roof on it. But no.
Get a roof.
No, because then I might accidentally become a homesteader and then you'll never see me again. Like I might just decide I'm going to plant a garden and have chickens and walk outside in bare feet all day because that seems
roof and
the dryer is number one. Rewind,
number one.
Dryer.
Okay, then the roof.
Yeah,
okay.
Thank you. So this is one of those things that's just fun, right? Like I know Riddle Friday, maybe they get a homework pass or
gets them excited.
Yeah, like something exciting.
Okay.
Okay, Lindsay. So remember, we've worked on struct all week. We've had examples, not examples. We've used it in context. What this all means. You know what all of this means. So here's your riddle, Lindsay. What's always in pieces but designed to come together?
It's oys and pieces.
This is kind of hard. Lindsay didn't have the answer before
I was going to
this.
say, I don't like them. I don't like when we don't
No,
prepare.
I know. This isn't to make you look silly. This
What's
is
oys and pieces, but designed to come together.
Because
if puzzle.
Okay, but we've been working on the morpheme.
Construct a puzzle.
Okay, yes, construction.
Oh.
Yes.
See?
You did it. See?
Wow.
The point is these shouldn't be super easy because if I'm like, if you can earn a homework pass, right? Like, we want the stuff. I almost said a bad word. Why would that come out that way?
We are having issues over here. We almost had to edit again.
My vibes. Woo. But you don't want this stuff to be hard, right? Like, or easy, like where they can just like get it like that. You want them to have to process it. So again, ChatGPT, AI, Magic School, Claude, whatever you use, drop your morpheme in for the week. Say, we've been working on this. Riddles. Give me a riddle. Use this riddle as an example, because I do have to be honest. The first couple times I did it on ChatGPT, it was giving really simple ones. So I had to give it an example and say, I want something like this. And then it gave me much more riddle-like. So it was just giving me like word problems before. I wanted something that was more like a riddle.
Like
that
you
would
had
help
to like really think
about it.
Okay. I like it. Okay. So I'll go back. I do like it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, we are doing our very last activity of today.
Woohoo! And this will close out the morpheme series.
Oh my gosh, what time is it?
3:34.
You guys, this is the first.
What's the first what?
3:23. We got past 3:23. What happens at 3:23 every day?
The lights go out.
No.
Oh.
Who calls me at 3:23 every day?
Oh, your daughter.
Hey, Mom, guess what?
Yes, you're right. You're right.
She did not call today.
I'm so proud of her. Oh my gosh, I need a moment.
I hope she's doing her chores.
She's growing up. I'm so proud of her. She's better do her chores because gosh knows we're going to have actual.
Let's be honest. She's probably making a new YouTube video.
She absolutely is. I was going to say it, but I'm glad you did.
Yeah. Okay, so what are we doing here, Emily?
Okay, so now we're going to do a good old morpheme web. And
this was one of the activities in our dyslexia training that they shared.
Yep. You will also hear like morpheme matrix or morpheme matrices. Those also work as well. It's really just kind of how your brain works. I shared the morpheme matrices in the previous episode for content area specific. So if you'd prefer that, then that's fine.
That's kind of the same thing as this. So just kind of whatever.
Yeah, it practices the similar thing because if you've noticed anything about all of these activities, it's that I just got rid of all of our words. That really, again, the goal is to foster that word consciousness and for them to start to see those patterns in words that they haven't noticed before. So we've been working on the morpheme struct. And also a lot of these activities, I forgot to bring this up. A lot of these activities come from Morpheme Magic, which is from the 95% group. But again, you can always adapt and modify things. Like this is a very helpful supplement, but you don't need it to be successful.
And Morpheme Magic is more geared towards the grades 4 through 12. But they do have Morpheme for Littles, which would be more of that K2.
Okay, let me see what page this is on. 112. Okay, so what you would do is and this would be another one that would be good to do when you've been practicing the morpheme for a little bit because you would want them to have a little bit. Actually, you know what? This could maybe be an introductory activity too.
I don't know. Like, I think this might be fun just to like come up with words that have struct in them, just to see what your students know too.
And that's why the two resources are here. So there's Edam Online.
Okay.
Which we've referenced before, which will help you. That is a more higher level resource. It's a little bit harder to manipulate. And then there's another one called Morpheme Mapper. That one's really easy. And it just breaks down the words by morphemes. It'll also show you what each morpheme means. I would highly suggest when you are deploying something like this, that you look at some of those words. You know what I mean? Look them up yourself. So that you have an idea. If I was working with maybe kids on the younger end, I would do the Morpheme Mapper instead of Edam Online because that's a little bit complicated if you have higher end kids.
That Morpheme Mapper, that's the first time I saw it was today, and I really like that.
Yeah, it's super slick. The only complaint I have about it and why I would use it probably with younger kids is there are a fair amount of words that I typed in that I know are words. And it says like, we don't have this word in our library. We're currently continuing to build our library. So if you were using it with like an AP Lit class, they may have a lot of vocab words that they're not going to be able to find there.
Okay.
So we've been working on the morpheme struct, which means to build or pile up. And strew, you just will also see it in that way, right?
Got it.
So Lindsay, what are some other what are some words you can think of that contain the morpheme struct?
All right. So construct. Oh.
I just won't talk for a second.
Okay. Construction. Deconstruct. Wow. Were you like... Let's say structure. So I feel like that could like structure and then restructure could have been off that.
Okay.
Restructure.
You get it.
Yeah.
You get it. That's why I taught secondary.
Nice.
Because there is nothing more terrifying than turning your back on a class of 8th graders, right? That's when you really start to master the whole side right on the board. Whoo, Nelly. Oh, the stories I could tell. So you will notice that I wrote some of them coming off from the original word.
Right.
This isn't a fine science. Do this with your kids. You're not going to break anybody if you, and actually I would consult with them because you're seeing
kind of
how
off of how we did those.
Yes, because you think about it. So when we started with struct and then we went to structure, we went from 1 morpheme to 2. And then we went to restructure. We went from 1 morpheme to 2 morphemes to 3 morphemes. So you can kind of see same thing here. Struct to construction to construct to construction. That's 3 morphemes. So they can see how these different words can change and evolve. I would open the floor. Let them come up with some words that they know that they've heard. You may run into words that doesn't work. Like there's just an STRU in the word. When you see those situations, or you like to you as an adult, logically, it doesn't make sense. Let's go to Enema Online together or a morpheme mapper together. Like struggle, for example. I don't believe, like when you look it up on morpheme mapper, struggle is just one word. Like it's just a morpheme. Like the whole thing is a morpheme. Okay. So even though you see that STRU in it, that doesn't mean, so if a student hollered struggle, I think my red flags would have gone up to put this morpheme on this morpheme map, because we know that struct means come together. So stru like is GGLE or GLE, a morpheme that we know. So you can kind of talk them through some of those things if they come up with words that maybe you're like, I'm not sure if that falls into that. And when in doubt, look it up with them. Google it, type it in ChatGPT, use one of those resources, and go through it with them.
Okay, so that was our last activity. I'm kind of going off script here.
Go off script.
So we talked about like letting people email us to let us know of other things that they want to learn about or know about, or what they want us to do, like a series on, or topics for our next podcast. If you have something that you want us to discuss, we're going to have you email our email address. That's our PD email account. So it's pd@mercercountyesc.org. And make sure that you like and subscribe our YouTube channel, because then anytime that we upload an episode, you at least get a notification. So that way, you know that there's a new episode, and then you can listen to us and give us some feedback.
We would love that. We would love that.
We have 5 subscribers and my daughter has a lot.
Yeah, and one of those subscribers is me, and the other is probably you. So half of our subscribers are us.
We need more subscribers. Please subscribe.
Please, I'm
Oh,
gonna get fired.
We don't want to sound
Just
baggy.
kidding. I won't get fired. I hope not. Maybe.
All right. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.